Hello everyone, welcome back to a brand new video. As always, man, I always forget to say at the start, if you enjoy these type of videos, hit the like button. But let's get started, okay? Let's not wasting time. And today we're going to be talking about a transfer rumor that really did come out of the blue, and this is in regards to Xavi Simons. Now, Fabrizio Romano and even Ben Jacobs have also hinted towards Xavi Simons potentially leaving RB Leipzig. Of course, RB Leipzig this season did not get Champions League football. And what does that mean? Apparently they're in financial troubles and they're trying to get rid of a lot of their star players. And the only two star players really that have any value, from my understanding, I'm sure there might be a few more, but as far as I am aware, that is Sesko and Xavi Simons. They're the two golden gooses, what you like. I don't even know what you could like to call it, but those are the two golden gooses. And of course, now it does look like Sesko has been priced out of a move from RB Leipzig. His purchase price is looking way too high for any club to even go near him. 100 million euros, God knows how much that is for a striker that scored maybe 13 league goals. A lot of clubs are thinking, is it worth it? Probably not worth it. At such a high price for a player you're not too sure, you don't know how he's going to translate to the Premier League. So that is why the focus has now gone to Xavi Simons. Now apparently even Fabrizio Romano is now saying that Xavi Simons is looking increasingly likely that he will be moving, and when he does move, it looks like he will be moving to a Premier League team this summer. And I think this just shows you, this summer especially, there is just so much talent around in the transfer market, the players that are willing to move. A lot of season we've had players, top players on the market potentially, but they're still disputing whether they want to stay at their current club. But this summer has been the most talent I've seen in a very long time. Players that want to leave, clubs that have to sell, and Xavi Simons is just another number on that long list. And Xavi Simons, top player. Now Fabrizio Romano has said there are two clubs interested in Xavi Simons, and two clubs have asked about Xavi Simons' conditions, and that is Arsenal and Chelsea. And for Arsenal, it makes sense. Chelsea, again, it makes sense. But for Arsenal, of course, you can see even Ben Jacob has said that for Arsenal, after the signing of Gyökeres, hopefully that gets done soon, Arsenal's next focus goes onto an attacking midfielder. And it does look like that is quite confirmed because of the fact that there is two attacking midfielders Arsenal are looking at, and that is between Eze and Xavi Simons. And the question is now, who do you go for? Who do you go for? With so much talent on the market, who do you go for? Do you go for the experience Eze, who's been playing in the Premier League, the guy who has delivered, but at the same time he's now 27 years old, has a higher price than Xavi Simons? Or do you go for the alternative, the more younger player, Xavi Simons, the one who has played in the Champions League, the more talent? Some people would argue he's more young, maybe has more potential to grow at a more cheaper transfer purchase price. So who knows, which one do you go for? And for me, this is a very difficult one because as they're such similar players, but same time they have very different attributes. You know, Xavi Simons he's mostly playing on that behind the striker, and he's a top player. At the same time, you go look at Eze, who can play at that attacking, just behind the striker, attacking midfielder, but at the same time he can play on the left wing as well, and that's how he has been doing with Crystal Palace. Whilst he's not been a traditional left winger, of course he cuts in, he free roams, he is used to playing that left wing position. And for Arsenal, this is the dilemma. Who do we go for? For me, this is a very hard one because for me, I don't even know. Like, I'm not set on which one specifically because I'll be honest, I haven't watched much of Xavi Simons. I haven't watched much of him. I've seen highlights of him. I watched some games of him in the what was it? Was it the Euros or the World Cup? I think it was the Euros. I remember he scored against England, and that's the most recent. I don't even know if it was a World Cup, whatever it was, World Cup or Euros. I remember England played against Netherlands, and I remember he scored a goal. And apart from that, I haven't watched him much, but I know he's a top player. When I have watched highlights of him, you can say this guy has the skills. Like, this guy is a very top player. But at the same time, then you go Eze. He's proven in the Premier League. This guy has done it all in the Premier League. I know he hasn't won the league, but he's been playing in the Premier League. We have seen him week in, week out. We know what type of player Eze is. So it's a hard one. Who do you go for? And for me, ultimately, when I look at it, the one thing I'll say now, there is no reason that Arsenal should not sign one of them. Arsenal should be in the market for both of them and whichever we need to at least sign one of them. Like if we do not sign either of them, that is a complete disgrace. That's what I'd like. It's an absolute disgrace. Also need to sign one of them. And quick interruption, I had to quickly wear my glasses because my eyes was hurting. But let's get back onto the main point. Xavi Simons and Eze. For me, the simple thing is Arsenal need to sign one of them, okay? We need more creativity. It was clear from last season that Arsenal need creativity in abundance. We do not have enough difference makers in the team. And that's why for me, Arsenal need to sign one of them. Whether it's a Xavi Simons or Eze, I don't get me either of them. But my preference, honestly, would be, drumroll, Eze. The reason why I would go for Eze, and to be honest, if Arsenal do sign Xavi Simons, I wouldn't mind. The reason why I would go for Eze is mostly because of the fact that he has played in the Premier League. He is used to the Premier League. And Arsenal are at a stage here where, unfortunately, we cannot take any gambles anymore in the transfer market. We need players, especially when we're trying to win the league. We need players who are ready. We need players who are ready to take us across the line. And I am just more confident in Eze doing that than Xavi Simons. Xavi Simons has not played in the Premier League, whilst Eze has been playing in the Premier League since God knows. He is used to the Premier League intensity, and the thing, he has, that experience in dragging his team across the line. FA Cup last season against Manchester City, Eze scored 2 goals. When you need a player to step up, Eze stepped up against Manchester City, and that's what Arsenal need. We need players that can step up, and unfortunately, we don't have many of that, and that's why for me, we need to add to that. And it could be the case that, I'm not saying Xavi Simons hasn't stepped up. It just could be the case that he has not been in a game, or like a very important game where he needed to step up. So for me, it's more of just get Eze. I think Eze is a more versatile player as well. Actually, that's stupid because they're both Eze. They can both play on the left wing. But I don't know. I just want Eze. I think all Arsenal fans are in unanimous agreement for the first time on a transfer is we need Eze. And whether we get Xavi Simons or Eze, God knows what's going to happen, because apparently now other reports are saying Arsenal have cooled down the interest in Eze. There have also been reports saying that Arsenal could potentially sign both, but I think that is mental. I don't think Arsenal are going to sign both. That is absolutely crazy. I would love to sign both, but I highly doubt Arsenal are going to sign both. I think Chelsea will definitely take one. I think whether they take Eze or Xavi Simons, God knows, but they will definitely take one. And Arsenal need to take whoever is left. But I want Arsenal to be in the front line taking Eze. I want Arsenal to make a bid. Ben Jacobs has said he does anticipate Arsenal to make a bid very soon. Apparently Arsenal are trying to go below the release clause. But I think before we see any rumours or any reports about Eze advancing, I think there has to be a few sales. I think you're also going to have to sell a few players before they start proceeding with the Eze deal, because I think that takes Arsenal's total spend to almost plus 200 if Arsenal were to complete the Eze deal before we make any sales. So I think we are going to see a sale in terms of, we're going to have to see a sale in terms of, you got Reece Nelson, Fabio Vieira. We're going to have to see a sale from one of them before we probably see any movements for Eze. But I want Eze to the door, man. I want Eze. I think all Arsenal fans want Eze to the door as soon as possible in that pre-season, so he's ready to hit the ground running for the Premier League, because we are not in a position, man. The gap has already been wide. We saw the gap from last season. We saw what Liverpool done, and we're seeing Liverpool strengthen even more. They're about to sign another striker. The gap is only going to get bigger, and Arsenal need to take advantage. Arsenal cannot just be sitting around waiting. We need to close that gap and prevent the gap from getting any bigger, because as well as Eze, we still need more, man. We still need more. I've always believed, man, I'm one of those ones where I think if we start the season with Martinelli and Trossard, we're not winning the league. It's simply, we're not winning the league. That's why I'd rather shift Eze on that left wing. We need difference makers. So let's see what happens. To be honest, they're both world-class players. Okay, not world-class. I take that back. They're both top players. And to be honest, whoever Arsenal get, I'll be happy with either of them. Just get me one of them through the door. My preference is Eze, but at the same time, if we get Xavi Simons, I'm not going to complain. Beggars can't be choosers. That's the simple line with Arsenal fans. We cannot be choosing between Xavi and Simons and Eze. Get me either of them. I do not care. They'll both be an upgrade to what we have. We need creativity. We need difference makers. But yeah, guys, that's just my thoughts. Let me know in the comments what you think is going to happen. Let me know, are you a fan of Xavi Simons or you want Eze? Let me know in the comments, because I want to know what everyone else thinks. Because to be honest, it's a very interesting debate. They're both two very similar profile players. Their age is the difference maker, and where they played is another difference maker. But yeah, let me know in the comments. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. Hopefully we see this rumor and this transfer build up even more in the next few days. And Gyökeres, where are you? Like, we're still waiting here. We're still waiting. It's been 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and still no Gyökeres. Hopefully, maybe tomorrow we get it. Here we go. But yeah, guys, that's the end of today's video. As always, hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.